Hi everyone. Today we had the privilege of interviewing Professor McClelland. She is currently a professor at the College of Natural Sciences at UT. Professor McClelland studied biological science at Rice University, got a Master of Science degree at Texas A&M University, and got her PhD right here at the University of Texas at Austin. We thought it would be a great idea to interview her to get better insight of what she does.
I was an undergraduate at Rice, and I was a biology major, and I had a terrible introductory biology course, which completely informs the way that I teach biology today. I like to get everybody have the big picture, a big overview, and then you can fill in the details later. But the undergraduate courses that I had in biology at Rice were very detail-oriented and not cohesive. So that definitely has informed the way that I teach today. Well, I was always interested in biology. Neither of my parents is a biologist, but I thought growing up that I told my dad that I wanted to be a nurse, and he goes, "Why don't you become a doctor?" And I said, "Women can become doctors?" I didn't, I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to become a doctor. So I was a pre-med for about 15 minutes at Rice, and decided that that was not what I wanted to do, but I was still interested in the field of biology. Go to class. That's pretty basic, and take opportunities when they come about. When people are providing you with advice or any other kind of assistance, be sure to take them up on that. I worked in a veterinary office for a while, and I did some research, some independent research as an undergraduate. They had National Science Foundation fellowships to do undergraduate research, so in the summers a group of us would do projects, and we worked on heavy metal toxicity in fish, and we worked on alcohol effects in rats, and so those are the kinds of opportunities that I was provided with as an undergraduate. I mainly study animal behavior, and so I'm very passionate about learning everything I can about the way that animals behave. And the beauty of animal behavior is that it is you can study it from any level in the biological hierarchy. So as I emphasize to my students, you can study it on the level of on molecular level, looking at DNA, looking at proteins, looking at ion channels, etc., all the way up through physiology, all the way up to examining animal behavior from a habitat or biosphere standpoint too. Exactly. I guess I would call myself a biology generalist, because my interests do range very broadly, from looking at molecules in DNA to looking at the environment and how the environment can affect animal behavior as well. So.
Just the bio intro? Or?
Yeah, well, that certainly was it. It was not a good experience. The reason that the intro course, I think, a couple of reasons that it was really not a very good introduction to biology is because it was taught by, over one semester, it was taught by 4 different people, and they each taught their interests. So for 3 weeks we learned about plants. For 3 weeks we learned about development. for 3 weeks we learned about physiology, and there wasn't any kind of cohesion to it. But I think more impactful than the courses were the professors that I had, and I'm still in contact with one of my professors from my undergraduate school, who actually is Canadian and went back to Edmonton, Alberta after I had left Rice University, and but we still stay in touch, and he's in his 80s now, and and so I was attracted to the courses that he taught, because he was one of those people that you could just drop in and talk. He would talk to you in your in his office, and so and he taught the physiology courses, so I gravitated towards those courses. Well, as I just said, we're still in touch with, and by we I mean my husband and I both, because we were undergraduates together at Rice. We're still in touch with our professors, and at least that one professor, and Howard, my husband, stays in touch with some of his professors in the environmental field, so yeah, they definitely had more of an influence earlier in my life, but they continue to be a source of friendship and assistance. And then in my graduate work, I definitely am still in close contact with professors from my graduate school, which was here at UT, A&M and here. I'd say more of the graduate work, because that's when I began concentrating on animal behavior and departed, at least personally, from more of the physiology and anatomy. So the graduate being more specific and concentrating on one particular area of biology was had more of an influence.
Undergraduate or graduate?
Ask me that again.
If you had to pick
one
instance or an opportunity that you took in either your graduate or undergraduate career that you feel like influenced you the most?
That would probably be work on my when I was working on my master's degree from Texas A&M, and had the opportunity to essentially live in the hill country and observe animals on game ranches out there. So I was very independent, and it was kind of roughing it, but every day getting up and watching animals and how they behave, and making notes on their behavior. That was probably the most influential time of my life. I hope that all students have an opportunity to work closely with a faculty member and see what goes into being a faculty member. I think the general public has this idea that we just come in, teach our classes, and then go home, when it's actually a 24/7 type of job. And so working closely with a faculty member, I think, is an opportunity that students really should seek in their undergraduate and graduate schools.
So would you say that that would influence the way that you connect with students as a faculty member now?
Oh, sure. Part of our responsibility is passing on our knowledge to the next generation, and that's been going on for thousands of years, right? And so, yeah, that I think that should be a very, very important feature of a faculty member's responsibilities, is to make sure that they pass on their knowledge. You mean like life lesson, or
Both.
have them know? Evolution.
Evolution.
Absolutely. Everybody should know the basics of evolution and be able to correct members of the general public if they have a misperception about evolution. And that's, of course, particularly true here in Texas, where we have members of our school board not accepting science and the facts of science. Science is not about opinion. It's about facts, and unfortunately that gets a little bit underserved in some communities.
Would you say that you're passionate about sharing truth
Yes.
with students?
Yes.
As far as
Yes, and I don't listen. Opinions don't matter.
Right.
I don't care how you feel about this particular fact. I'm telling you, or I'm showing you. Even better, I'm showing you the facts of, for instance, evolution or animal behavior or any other DNA, the way DNA works, and you know that we're going to have an opinion-free session here.
Would you say that has definitely inspired the way like you teach your classes as far as
Yeah.
balancing truth and opinion?
Yes. Yeah. I teach the facts, and I make sure that the facts that are understood, and the logic of the facts is the road to these facts is very carefully laid out, and it becomes just very logical.
Is there a particular life lesson that you hope that your students would gain from your classes?
Stop, look, observe animals, observe the planet, observe what is around you. Be mindful, be aware of the living world that is around you, and accept the fact that you are part of it. Older generation, teaching the older generation, I thought about it and I went, oh, you're absolutely right. But only very recently has this been a phenomenon. If you think about other places, other cultures, other times, then you know that it's the older generation teaching the younger generation. But now I think we haven't completely reversed that, but we certainly do have reverse mentoring.
Barriers have
Yes.
been broken between
Yes.
the teacher-student
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah. I can't really think of an instance. I'm lucky that I live close to the university, and so there's not a big division between what I do at home and what I do here at school. So, and I have had kids. My twins are 25 years old, and so, and they were just brought into the whole academic world, and they're currently in graduate school themselves. So, yeah, they just assumed everybody has a PhD and they should get a PhD themselves. And so, no, I've really tried to maintain a good work and life balance.
How would you say, or what would you say that something that you did was most effective in helping balance that?
Choosing a good husband to support me, and that's probably key. I couldn't have done my dissertation without his help through a series of circumstances, and so to have somebody that is totally supportive of what I do it's very helpful.
Did you?
Yes, I would say so. From high school.
Wow.
Yeah, and yeah, I would say that is absolutely true. Because I enjoyed it, and I had basically kind of a thirst for knowledge in the biology field, and so much has changed since I was in high school. And even looking, I've gotten rid of them now, but looking at some of my textbooks from college, they're just like, oh, we don't know anything about this, we don't know anything about that, and I'm like, oh, everybody knows that now. So, yeah, just beginning a pursuit as a very young person. Well, I would just say be open-minded and try to taste a little bit of everything. And this is the approach I take to animal behavior. Is I take a very broad approach and give students a little taste of all the different aspects of animal behavior. And I repeat regularly, this lecture could be turned into an entire course because it's such a broad field. And so I would say just expose yourself to different opportunities and different areas of biology.
So you would definitely say that your studies have impacted the person that you are today.
Yeah, sure. It's you once you are in a field like I am, you can't really separate yourself from the field. I mean, animal behavior is what I am, and thus because I have a fairly outgoing personality, I enjoy sharing that with other people. So it works out well. I guess I've gained confidence as I've gained knowledge. I've gained confidence in knowing how biological organisms work, etc. So yeah, I'm not sure I'm answering that question, but as I said before, just knowing that you are part of the Earth is, I think, a very powerful way to envision, to have personal philosophies of living things. And it's great to study living things because, we don't have a singular definition of life, but we know life when we see it. And so, anyway.
Do you think you'll continue this?
Oh, sure. Well, as you just found out, today is my birthday. So one more year older, and I'm not really slowing down. In fact, being among undergraduates and it being involved in the academic world, I think keeps me active and young and open-minded, and it's a very it's an honor to be able to be part of that. So. Just keep attending your classes, ask questions, go to office hours, get to know your professors, and take advantage of the opportunities that a school like UT can offer, because other schools don't have the variety of classes that you can take or the kind of active faculty members that we do here. So just accept opportunities and take them when you can.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For interviewing us.
On behalf of my biology group and my entire biology class, I would just like to take a moment to thank Professor McClelland for letting us interview her. We came in during her lunch break on her birthday, and she still took the time out of her day to sit down and have a conversation with us. Professor McClelland, you've taught us that although it may sound cliche, we should all follow our passions, and that there is more to biology than what you first learned in a freshman undergraduate course. Even though it may seem hard now, you've inspired us, and you've taught us that the more we learn, the more we grow, and the better it gets. So again, thank you.